All right, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because today we're going to be talking about BITI and we're also going to be talking about BITO. The reason is one of these funds goes long on Bitcoin and one of the funds goes one inverse on Bitcoin. And basically what that means is BITI shorts Bitcoin, BITO aims to produce returns that correspond to Bitcoin to the upside. So what we're going to do today is I actually have a chart up. This is going to be a fun video. We're going to put $10,000 in each fund, a 50-50 split like we mentioned before in the past. And basically we are going to be comparing how BITI and BITO, how this strategy has performed, because BITO actually pays a 17% dividend. BITI pays roughly about a 2% dividend. So it's almost negligible, but we are going to include it, of course, in today's video. And we're going to show you how, if you were to have put $10,000 in BITI and $10,000 in BITO, how your money would do. Because realistically, quote unquote, this strategy is supposed to basically go one to the downside and one to the upside of Bitcoin. So you should essentially have the exact same capital that you started with, the exact same $20,000 that we're going to start with for the strategy, plus your dividend return. So that will be the topic of today's video. Before we get into this, I do want to say we have some comments, people saying, obviously it might not work because they bring up some great points like Shill103, he mentions that there is decay loss, and obviously not only decay loss through depreciation of these kind of funds like BITI, but especially BITO, just due to the fact that it's paying out these 17% dividends, but the fact that you also have tax loss as well through the strategy because you are being paid out dividends. So with all the debates around this, we are going to be getting into that today. Currently, we're up to 4,139 subscribers. So please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Holy crap, haven't made a video in 3 days, almost 4. So we're coming back strong with this one. I hope you guys enjoy. So a little background about each. BITI shorts Bitcoin basically. So it goes inverse one short on the daily performance of Bitcoin futures. Now, neither of these funds, BITI or BITO, invest directly in Bitcoin. They all use futures that correspond to Bitcoin, whether it be to the upside like BITO or to the downside of BITI. And basically, when you look at the past funds performance, you're looking, man, like this does not look good at all. You started with $10,000 investment back in 2021. Bitcoin, obviously, it travels with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin had a pretty steep downfall like we've seen, look at this, 2021 was where they had their inception right at the peak, and then Bitcoin obviously had a steep drop. But when we're looking at the past 6 months of both of these funds, which is what we are going to be looking at, 6 months here and 6 months for BITO, we're going to see how exactly they have performed. So using my calculator here, what we're going to do is we have a starting price of about $22.28 for BITI, $22.26, and we are going to divide that by the current share price of $10.65 divided by 10.65. I hope I'm doing this the right way here, and I'm definitely not. So 10.65 divided by 22.26. Okay, this should give us our percent here. So we currently see a loss. We're going to subtract this by 1. This is a negative 52.1% loss, and we're going to add this in here, negative 52.1% loss, and that is on BITI, understandably, because Bitcoin in the 6-month time frame appreciated upwards, and obviously if BITI goes short on Bitcoin, it is going to depreciate. Now, for BITO, we're looking at a fund that started out the 6-month period at $13.29. So we'll go to our calculator here. And actually, we need the end price first. So we got 24.24. Beautiful. So we go 24.24 divided by, and we have the starting price, which was, if I can find that here, $13.29 roughly, divided by 13.29. And am I doing this wrong again? I am totally doing this wrong, guys. What am I doing here? I'm a crazy guy here. 13.29 divided by 24.24. Okay, I appreciate you guys sticking with me. So now when we actually, no, that is it. That is our kind of, no, that is not it. We got to subtract by 1 here, guys. There we go. So we have a 45% gain on BITI. That is right, because obviously if you take 13 multiplied by 2, it's going to be 26. We got 45%. So this is our gain right here. So you can see already that our strategy is a little bit less than we anticipated. Obviously, as you guys mentioned in the comments below, you do have that decay from paying out those dividends and obviously your tax, which is not even included here. So we're going to put that in 45.2%. So you can already see here that kind of like our total return here already took a pretty steep drop of about 7% or so. But what I want to do here is take this $10,000 and multiply it by the losses here. So we'll do $10,000, 2, 3, boom. And we are going to be taking these losses. So at 52%, we're looking at roughly 48% or so. So we're going to do 0.479. That is kind of like the market. So we're at $4,790 for the current price here. So dollars 47.90. If you were to have invested $10,000, that's roughly what you'd have by this marker here by February 21st. Now investing $10,000 in BITO, we're going to multiply that by 45%. So we got $10,000 times 0.452. Beautiful. And we are going to be adding this $10,000 to that because that is obviously what we got. So we got $14,520. Let's add that in right now. So we got $14,520. Now, when we add both of these together, let's just see exactly what we get. Plus 47.90 plus 47.90. So you could see here, we invested a total of $20,000 and we're currently at about $19,310. So our total return here is actually negative, but one thing this doesn't account for is our percent for the dividends. Now, one thing that we do need to do is we do need to take this 52%, and what we have to do is we have to add this dividend to it. So 52.1%, 52.1 subtract 2.03 because it was a negative. So we got 50.07. This is our total return for BITI in terms of our return, obviously being a negative. And then we have BITO with a 17% dividend on top of this. So honestly, guys, if you were to have just have bought BITO when Bitcoin was trending up, you would have obviously done a lot better. Sure, you do argue that this is the hedge against the downside and this is kind of the overall strategy, but if you have a great kind of hunch that Bitcoin is going to do very well in the future and you do think it's going to go up, maybe you just want to buy BITO unless you want to protect yourself on the downside by also buying BITI. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go 45.2, and we're going to add this dividend yield of 17.37% plus 17.37%, and that gives you a total return of 62.57%. 62.57%. And so our total return when we subtract this other yield of 50.07, we have a total return of 12.5% on the strategy. Is this exactly true for the strategy? Not really, because as we mentioned, this kind of includes the decay of the stock, but what isn't mentioned is the tax taken off of these dividends. So you can basically knock off 15% or whatever you're being charged from those dividends. But just to keep it super basic, roughly a 12.5% return is what you could have expected if you did this strategy. And obviously, if you take 12.5%, you do 20,000 starting times 0.125 plus 20,000, you would have ended up with $22,500. So this is the BITI and BITO strategy. Now, obviously, this really went into play because Bitcoin had a great run. Obviously, if you were to just had invested into BITO, you would have obviously done a lot better. But BITI was there to kind of hedge your risk to the downside. Now, obviously, I don't know how this strategy is going to play out if Bitcoin switches and it goes back down to, let's say, $35,000. it is not certain to me how BITI is going to react. If they are going to increase this dividend, we could see, looking from the past, we'd see that even when Bitcoin was trending down back in 2022, let's just go here to just double triple check. So in 2022 May, let's see if they have some dividends here. So really all their dividends are later going into 2023 December. So really we don't have any dividends from BITI. We need BITI. We don't really have any dividends from BITI when it was trending down. So it's hard to say that if Bitcoin does have a steep downtrend like we've seen here in 2021 to 2022, will they be paying higher dividends and you'll be compensated maybe a dividend drop on the BITO side, but a dividend increase to maybe 10% on the BITI side? That is not for certain. So I can't say that the strategy works in both directions. That is pretty much how it's intended. It's intended to work in both directions. It's intended that you receive obviously income, or the fund BITI goes up when Bitcoin goes down, and then BITO goes down as Bitcoin goes down. This is just exactly how it plays out. But this is just a short little video to kind of show you the strategy, show you how it's played out, because it's a video that I made a long time ago, about 6 months or so, my last BITI and BITO video. And so I wanted to give you guys kind of a little picture of what it produced to this day, which was $22,500, obviously not accounting for tax. So this is going to be slightly less than that, but it's an interesting strategy, and it's something that if you're looking for some income, it could potentially provide you. If you are bullish on Bitcoin, you might look to BITO. If you are bearish on Bitcoin, you might look to BITI. So two new stocks that you guys might not have been aware of. So if you guys did enjoy this video, what I do want to say is I hope you guys do subscribe. We're up to 4,139 subscribers, growing subscribers every day. So I want to say thank you to everyone who joins our page. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any more videos that you want to see, any comparisons like this, please do remember to just drop it in the comments down below. It never hurts to try. And if I see it, then I will do it. So I hope you guys take care. I hope to see you guys in the next video, and have a great Wednesday.